I'm the Beverage Team Assistant Director, and I'm so excited to be going through this journey with you, teaching you bartending basics. Hopefully I'll be meeting some of you in person next semester. Enjoy!
This week we will be reviewing the importance of shaking and the fundamentals of gin. Shaking requires the following tools. A Boston shaker is the primary tool used when shaking. The top can be a pint glass, or a metal tin. You form a seal by placing the top into the base, which allows us to vigorously shake the cocktail. Once we finish shaking, we use a Hawthorne strainer to pour the cocktail into the proper glass. Let's talk technique. There are 7 important things to remember when shaking. The first step is always to fill the base of the Boston shaker with ice. Next, we add the alcohol using a speed pourer, then the rest of the ingredients. Once all the ingredients are added, create a seal between the base and the top. The next step is the fun part. Using 2 hands, we vigorously shake the cocktail until condensation forms on the shaker, which takes roughly 15 to 20 seconds. The last steps include breaking the seal and straining the cocktail into the glass. While bleeding the ice is not typically a step in the shaking process, it is important to know what it means. Firstly, you need to know one of the most important bartending rules. Never scoop ice with a pint glass. Doing so risks the pint glass chipping and glass getting into our ice. Since glass and ice look very similar, this could be very dangerous. If you were to accidentally scoop ice with a pint glass, it is important to immediately replace the ice or bleed the ice. Bleeding the ice means pouring grenadine over the ice. This symbolizes that glass may have gotten into the ice, so other bartenders don't use it. We shake for 2 main reasons. First, we shake to adequately mix all the ingredients. Second, we also shake to make our cocktails cold. Shaking breaks down the ice, which both dilutes the cocktail slightly and makes it cold. It is important to know when you should shake a cocktail and when you should not shake a cocktail. We always shake cocktails that contain milk, eggs, or fruit juices. We never shake cocktails that contain carbonated beverages or liquors that can bruise. If you have the proper tools to practice shaking, now is a great time to follow along. This week we will be focusing on gin. Join us in learning about how gin is made and what common cocktails are made with gin. Gin is typically produced in 3 different methods. Compound gin involves the flavoring of a neutral spirit with botanicals. There is no further distillation. Pot distilled gin involves the process of distilling a neutral gin, allowing botanicals to soak in it, and redistilling the spirit. Pot distilled gin usually results in an amber-colored gin. Lastly, column distilled gin similarly begins with distilling a neutral spirit, but this spirit is highly concentrated. The spirit is then redistilled with botanicals. Rather than being placed in the spirit, the botanicals are packed and held in a basket above the spirit, which results in a colorless gin. Before any botanicals are added, the spirit is generally flavorless. The flavor of gin depends on what ingredients are added to it. While these special ingredients are not typically broadcasted to the public, the most notable would be juniper berries. Similar to the flavor of gin, the scent widely depends on the ingredients the gin is distilled with. A few popular gin brands are Bombay Sapphire, which is made in England, Beefeater, which is also made in England, and Hendrick's, which is made in Scotland. Let's talk cocktails. A martini is one of the most classic cocktails and was originally made with gin. Today, many people order martinis with vodka as well. A martini is made with 2.5 ounces of gin and dry vermouth. If a dry martini is ordered by a guest, you will add less dry vermouth. If a wet martini is ordered, you will add more dry vermouth. Lastly, a dirty martini will be served with the addition of olive brine. A Tom Collins is one of 3 Collins, all created in a similar fashion. A Tom Collins has 1.5 ounces of gin, an ounce of sour mix, and club soda. Sour mix is equal parts lemon juice and simple syrup. This drink can be built in a highball or shaken. If it is shaken, the club soda will not be added to the shaker, rather it will top the cocktail. The garnish is a lime. A Negroni is made with equal parts of Campari, sweet vermouth, and gin. This drink is shaken and strained into a rocks glass, and we garnish it with an orange. The last gin drink we will be reviewing is a gimlet. A gimlet is made with 2 ounces of gin, 1/2 ounce of lime juice, and 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. The drink is shaken and strained into a martini glass. The garnish is a lime.
I hope you enjoyed learning about a new liquor and skill this week. Next week, we are excited to release a new module. Stay tuned to hear more about what we are teaching in a few moments. We hope that this program will give you insight into the basic skills you will need when you are working behind a bar or teach you a bit about the basic liquors. See you next week!